Cosplay is really just an expression of, something that you're really passionate about, and it's just taking like a step to like show it off to everybody and just have fun with it.
There doesn't really have to be a reason to want to be a superhero or a villain or just anything, really.
You'll find that almost everybody wants a little bit of attention, but also it's a lot of fun to be a specific character in a group of other characters from similar things and just like get together and to act like the character that you're dressing up as. It's just like a big play, but you get to do whatever you want.
Cosplay got its start in the 90s when comic book companies such as Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, and many others would hire professional models to wear costumes for their characters to promote their books. From the 90s to now, the amount of cosplaying has increased to the point where almost everyone at comic book conventions are dressed up.
I've been doing cosplay for about 6 years now.
3 years.
About 4 years now.
About 2 years.
4 years, 5 years.
It's a community of people who all are very supportive of each other and supportive of the people who come to the conventions and so on. And I know that there's kind of a popular conception that these are all just a bunch of weird geeks, out playing dress up. But there is a little more to it than that, because certainly the people I know who dress up as Batman or dress up as Superman, when they're not going to the conventions, very often they'll go to hospitals and visit, kids who are sick, or do fundraising events and things like that. So, these are people who don't just dress up like the heroes; they really kind of embody the values of the heroes as well.
I do this just because it's the fun thing to do, but me and a group of friends from the area go to various charities, and we try to give a little bit back, a little bit of fun back to the children, especially children at various cancer activities, Down syndrome. We do various charity events.
I think every year we go to like 4 or 5 conventions, I think, a year. And then there are like some charity events that will happen in between where it's like dress up and visit a hospital, or like a superhero themed movie night or something like that. So pretty often, pretty frequently, we're in costume.
Sometimes we'll do charity events here and there, raise a little money. I mean, it's not just about the costumes and the glamour. Sometimes you gotta give a little back.
I find it appealing that you can dress up in nice clothes or embody your idol, basically. So, like, I've always loved X-Men and Wonder Woman and all these characters, and it's just like growing up, you always have like an idol, like who you look up to. And I have a younger sister, so like she looks up to me, and I want to kind of embody that too, like of what I've learned. So it's appealing to me, like just that whole aspect of being an idol.
It's fun to enter into a world that's not this world. To be able to be someone other than yourself for a day or for a weekend.
I just like the sense of anonymity it brings, and you can actually be whoever you want. You can, regardless of your past or your present, you can just be anyone you want, and that's really something miraculous for me.
Bruce Sibley's last book, entitled $1 Billion Batman, is about the evolution of the Caped Crusader through the years from his creation to the latest blockbusters. The book takes the reader behind the scenes in comics, movies, and television, showing just how popular Batman has been and why.
Every time I finish a new book, certainly since the last 2 were on comic book subjects, I always try to go to the comic book conventions to promote them. And when you go to the conventions, of course, you see lots of people there in costume, which for me is part of the fun of going. And it kind of helps me promote my book, because I always try to get the people as they're coming by the table in the costume to come over and get a picture of them holding the book. So then once the convention's over, for the next month or so, every day I can throw up a photo on Facebook, which those get sort of copied and spread around the internet, which helps me promote my books. Even though I don't do it myself, I still enjoy seeing other people do it. I get a lot of enjoyment out of that at the conventions, because some of the costumes, I have to say, really pride themselves on doing costumes that are more like what you see in the comic books. And I've seen some that are really fantastic, and you see them and you go, why didn't they use that in the Batman movie or the Superman movie,
Well, I guess the amount of hours that we spend on the costume kind of varies depending on the costume.
These costumes, for 7 of them, they took 3 months.
3 months.
3 months of grueling labor, but well worth it.
Anywhere between 48 and 72 hours in a week on costume work while I'm doing school.
If it's a fabric costume, it could take 2 weeks, but if it gets something more in-depth, like a full armored suit, it could take a half a year.
A lot of it is thrift store stuff thrown together. The umbrella I painted myself, and the book I made.
Cosplay opens doors to unique friendships of people sharing their devotion for costuming. A community is created where fellow cosplayers provide tips and information.
If you make all your own stuff, that you're showing off your craftsmanship, and people can ask, oh, how did you do that? And then you can help them with their stuff. So it's really awesome.
More of a community for cosplayers. Helping, sharing information, setting up photo shoots, helping get props made, costumes, airbrushing, makeup, the works.
It's testing your limits to making crazy costumes. Like you'll see people in crazy armor and just lights all over the place and just giant weapons. It's a lot of creativity that people get to use.
I'm relatively new, but I've learned a lot so far and I've met a lot of cool people, so I'm very excited. I'm happy to finally be in the cosplay trend. I've learned a couple of sewing techniques, material-wise, what materials would be best for certain things, or who to ask for that type of help. So I think that's a really big help towards making your costumes.
It's a huge opportunity to meet people, not only like friends, but also people who are in the business and who you would maybe want to network with. But the people you meet, pretty much standard for all of them is that they're a little crazy. I don't know, it's a fun release from the real world.
The costuming and cosplaying, it's for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not just for people like us. Yes, we spend hundreds of dollars and countless nights on our costumes, but it's for everyone, We encourage everyone to get out and do it and cosplay. It's a fun thing. It's a great community. Everyone's accepting and everyone loves you here. The cosplay community is probably one of the best communities to be a part of.
Everyone has their own reasons to cosplay, but it all goes back to having a good time with friends just as passionate as you are. To view more amazing costumes, or if you decide to get into this hobby yourself, you can visit cosplaychicago.com.
Becoming what?
It's about becoming your idol. It's about worshiping. It's almost a religion.